Welcome to the HETV Game of the Week. I'm John Anderson. Tonight we have a real rivalry game, Barrington hosting Fremd. The two schools are right next to each other, their districts are right next to each other here in the far northwest suburbs. Barrington comes into this game with 6-1 record, having lost a close game to Palatine last week, 24-26. Barrington is coached by Joe Sanchez. Fremd comes into this game at 5-2. They also lost last week to Hoffman Estates in overtime, 24-25. They're coached by Lou Sponsel. However, the week before, they beat Palatine 49-19 in a very impressive game. So that was really a big drop-off for Fremd last week when they turned around after beating Palatine by so much and losing to Hoffman Estates by 1 point in overtime last week. The week before the Palatine game, Fremd lost their only other game of the season to one of the league leaders, Conant, 17-26. This game is very important as far as the championship of the Mid-Suburban West. Barrington right now is tied with Conant and Palatine. Conant and Palatine play next week, while Barrington plays Hoffman Estates in the last game of the season. A key last week to Palatine being able to beat Barrington was containing the quarterback option play, which quarterback Johnny Davidson had run so well all year. He had averaged about 80 yards a game rushing, and last week against Palatine, they were able to hold him in 14 runs to -28. Now, some of that was probably sacks, but the basic running on the option was really stopped last week by Palatine. So we can expect Fremd to try to emulate that tonight and Barrington to try to counter whatever Fremd does. Barrington was held to only 287 yards last week versus about 450 during their first 6 games. Nate King, their tailback, got 110 yards, so that was up around his average for the year. Davidson did pass real well. They didn't slow down the pass last week. Davidson was 18 of 22 for 181 yards. And on the other side of the ball, though, Palatine was able to score 26 points. And they're one of 6 teams out of the 7 opponents that have scored 18 or more points on Barrington. So the Barrington defense has not had the same year that the Barrington offense has had. Barrington's offense is averaging 39.9 points a game. That's 40 points, basically. And they're allowing, though, 22.4 to the other team on defense. Fremd is close behind. They score almost as well as Barrington. They're 35-point a game average, and they allow almost the same. They're 22.8. Some key players for Barrington. Part of the reason they have such a good offense is their offensive line. Nick Bart and Alex Serrano are both major college recruits. They're both about 6'3", 290. John Stefan is also up in that size range in the offensive line. Johnny Davidson, again, he's having a great year passing. He's on the year, he's 75.4% pass completion, which is really outstanding. It's certainly one of the highest pass completion percentages in the whole Chicago area. His key receivers are John Bapsich. He's a real nice, tall target, 6'5". Jake Zada is 6 foot, 195 pounds. Logan Mays is 5'11", 190 pounds. And that's a good trio of receivers. Nate King, the running back, and he'll be out there running the ball on almost all plays. They don't rotate running backs much. He's only 5'5", but he weighs 200 pounds. He's very powerful, and he can really pound the middle of the field. On defense, Barrington has Blake Holly at linebacker. He's 215. They've got Cooper Van Kamen at a defensive line position. He's 6'3", 280. Jack Perkins at a defensive end position. He's 6'7" and about 215 or so. Some key players for Fremd. The quarterback, of course, Tommy Justin. He's a junior doing very well. Kenny Like plays defensive back and wide receiver. He's a Michigan State recruit, so he's been recruited by one of the best football programs in the United States. He's really a premier athlete. Matt McCabe is a scholar athlete. He's going to Yale. Cordell Finley is out for the season. He had been playing well at wide receiver, but he got hurt a game or so ago, and he's not playing tonight. Charlie Kane has been doing a lot of heavy-duty running in recent games, and he's playing tonight. He's 5'6", 160, but an excellent runner. Alex Jacobs and Tommy Van Henoven lead the defensive line for Fremd. On offense, the offensive line, Ethan Hansen and Matt Payne are both up in that 260-pound area on the offensive line for Fremd. Fremd has a new offensive coordinator this year, and they've gone basically to a spread offense with Joe Rattino handling that, and they're averaging 35 points a game. Well, a fairly easy conclusion about what might happen here tonight. We've got two teams that score a lot, and I think I'm going to go with that and predict that we'll have a high-scoring game. Barrington averaging almost 40 points a game, and Fremd at 35 points a game. Their defenses are allowing up around 22, so their defenses are good, but not as impressive as their offenses, quite frankly. So I look for Fremd to try to emulate Palatine and try to stop that quarterback option play. They'll try to do that with a rush from their front linemen, but they'll probably have some run blitzes. Maybe they'll have a safety blitz now and then. To counter that, I look for Barrington to pass the ball more. They passed 22 times last week. I expect them to pass close to 30 times tonight. And I expect that Barrington to probably try to use a wingback a little bit to take some pressure off of Johnny Davidson and Nate King and get other players into the run game to some extent. So I look for Barrington with their great offense, their fine big offensive line, to score a lot of points and edge Fremd tonight in a very high-scoring game.
All right, we're set for kickoff here in Barrington. Kick taken at the 10-yard line. Breaks into some free space. He has some room. He's going to take this to about the 42-yard line where Fremd will start 1st and 10. Nice return out of the Vikings. Look to be Mark Metzen. It'd be a challenging game calling the Viking team. They're wearing green helmets, black pants, white jerseys, and silver numerals.
And those silver numerals make it somewhat difficult to depict the numbers from time to time, but we'll do the best we can.
Quarterback Tom Johnson in the shotgun for the Vikings. End around. It's going to pick up a nice gain, about 7 yards or so. That's going to be taken down by a host of tacklers at about midfield. Joe Schneider on the end around. Wide receiver taking the ball to the near side of the field. Brings up a 2nd and reasonable for the Vikings.
Barrington defense on the field, they've been allowing just a little over 22 points a game.
Johnson's going to throw for the first time. It's complete. That's going to be good enough for a first down, and he found Schneider once again. So that'll move the chains for the Vikings. First and 10 for the Vikings on the Bronco 44-yard line.
Jostin is a junior quarterback playing his first year and having quite a good year. Fremd fans are quite satisfied with his performance. They're in a spread formation, 3 receivers left. The throws to the right.
High pass is tipped into the air by the Fremd receiver and falls incomplete. That was Schneider again was the target. That's the first Viking play that didn't go as drawn up, but had an opportunity there. Wasn't quite able to execute. Bring up 2nd down for the Vikings. This Barrington defense not quite as stiff as the unit from a year ago was.
The hope is that by playoff time they'll be peaking, but playoffs are right around the corner right now. So if they're going to start playing top-notch football tonight,
here comes the end around again, hit by two Bronco tackles and taken down by number 99 Jackson Perkins for a very short game, bringing up 3rd and long.
First man in there was 55 or 59, Zachary Nemec.
That's on the Broncos. Alec Hansen was the linebacker that first made contact with Schneider, the ball carrier coming around. So we've called his name.
Alec Hansen, yeah.
3rd and 9. Jostin's going to working from the pistol formation. Dead ball flag, likely a legal formation penalty. That'll move back, make a third and 14 coming up for the Vikings from the 49. So successful drive. They're up against a long yardage situation here. Fremd, they'll likely go to the air here. They're missing Cordell Finley. Has been an athletic receiver for them. He's out with a foot injury. In his absence, they've been going to Schneider quite a bit. Here's Johnson looking deep. He has some running room. He throws at the last second. Ball is tipped, and there's also a flag in the backfield. Early signals holding on the Vikings, likely to be declined. That appears to be the case. Looks like the penalty was declined. The Viking quarterback staying on the field. He's a few times this season has gone to the quick punt. That's kind of what we're expecting here. But with leaving the quarterback in, that prevents Barrington from sending a deep safety to return a punt. And that's exactly what happened. Johnson's going to punt the ball, and he's going to get a nice roll. That's going to be deep into Barrington territory and ultimately out of bounds at the 8-yard line. So the pooch punt works for the Vikings. Broncos are going to take the field for the first time tonight with 10 minutes from their own 8-yard line.
Jostin showing his versatility there by punting Barrington in quite deep here at the 8-yard line, where this high-powered Barrington offense will take the field.
Okay, Kenny's playing defense.
The star of the show,
Pink.
Johnny Davidson in the shotgun for the Barrington Broncos. Second season as the starting quarterback here. Very high completion percentage on the year. It's going to be a handoff. This is King on the. This is Logan Mose gets the first handoff, and he's stacked up by a pretty good defensive line that the Vikings have out there.
Hayes is in the backfield instead of King.
Mays has played a little bit in the backfield, but King has dominated that position for the season. And here's
this is Davidson keeping, and he's hemmed in.
Swarmed, and
basically the entire Fremd defensive line able to take him down, and this is going to be 3rd and 10 for the Vikings.
Looks like that Fremd defense is very conscious of that quarterback option. They're all going right after it.
So a couple of interesting personnel decision here. Typically wide receiver Logan Mays has been in the backfield the first and second down. Here's Davidson rolling out, looking to pass.
Davidson going way right. Now he
held onto the ball, found a player. That's number 11, Jake Zada. So Davidson was very patient and really on a kind of an ad-lib play by the wide receiver. He came open, and Davidson lofted a nice pass in there for a big gain out to the 38-yard line.
Very accurate pass that time, and it results in a first down at the 38-yard line of Barrington.
That play was well defended and only opened up after the play had kind of broken down.
Now it looks like Nate King is is back out there at the tailback position.
Davidson, a screen pass. He was going for Maves and just out of reach, incomplete. King was, though, in the backfield.
King is number 6 out there, very sturdy build.
Nate King, he's 5'5", 200 pounds.
Has carried the football most of the time for Barrington this year.
He was up over 100 yards last week in Barrington's only loss of the year against Palatine. We have a flag, a dead ball flag in the play, likely a motion procedure penalty on the Broncos.
So far, we've seen one real attempt at a run by Davidson, and he had a host of Fremd defenders box him in.
That was a key part of the game last week. Palatine really did a nice job containing Davidson running the ball last week.
Held him to minus 28 overall. That includes some sacks, but also all the forward yardage was pretty much eliminated.
Davidson's going to keep it himself. He has a little bit of room. He's going to pick up about 6 yards and basically make back the penalty yardage there. And this will bring down another 3rd and long situation for Barrington. So that's twice that Barrington's called Davidson's number running the ball. To only once for the tailback King. All right, 3rd down, 4 wide receivers set for the Broncos. Davidson back to pass. He has plenty of time. Finally breaks down and he's sacked. That's Matt McCabe, the Yale-bound defensive lineman for the Vikings. So Davidson had time, but with the defensive line of the Vikings ultimately able to get to the quarterback. A little bit of a coverage sack. Nobody, much like the previous 3rd down play, nobody came open on the initial routes. And that brings out the Barrington punter.
So other than the long pass by Davidson there to Sada, there not too much movement by the Barrington offense on that series.
Line drive punt. It's going to be fielded off a couple of hops.
It's returned and
a
little bit of running room along the sideline.
We have a flag on the play, likely a blocking penalty on Fremd. Ball
carrier out of bounds at about the...
Alex Honkel was the punt returner for Fremd.
Here comes the penalty assessment right now.
So a nice return negated by the illegal use of hand penalty, and that's going to bring this back to roughly the 20-yard line for Fremd. They'll take the ball for the 2nd time with 7:20 left in the 1st quarter. Good number of penalties so far in this game. Both these teams looking to rebound from losses last week. Barrington being upset at at Palatine, and Fremd losing an overtime game to Hoffman Estates. This is Charlie Kay getting his first carry. He's up the middle for a nice gain of about 5 or 6.
Kay had a really big game in that win over Palatine by Fremd a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that was a resounding win by Fremd over Palatine, giving the Palatine Pirates their only league loss so far. Jostin's going to keep this one himself and doesn't find much running room. He's taken down after a gain of 1 or 2. Alec Hansen on the stop for Barrington.
Third and two.
3rd and 2. We'll see if Fremd opts to operate from the shotgun yet again, even though the short yardage situation. Player that missed last week's game for Fremd, Kenny Light. This is a handoff up the middle, and it's going to be an easy 1st down. I believe that's on the carry. I think that was Alex Jacobs. Defensive lineman, plays occasionally on offense, and in the short yardage situation, they went to the 215-pound defensive lineman to pick up the first down.
See his number? I can't see it. He's been in the backfield the last 5 plays. He's doing a hell of a job.
And it's going to be Jacobs again up the middle. This time he's stacked up by the Bronco defense. Blake Holy, among other tacklers, takes him down for maybe a yard or two. So in an effort to be more physical, Fremd has gone to Alex Jacobs in the backfield.
That's Jacobs is about 215 pounds or so, I believe.
He's listed at 5'11", 215. He looks to be every bit of that.
So that's very substantial weight for a running back.
Now it looks like the Michigan State recruit Kenny Lake is in the backfield for Fremd. First time tonight after missing last week's game. And there it goes to Lake, and he's goes for the wide part of the field and is taken out of bounds after a gain of about 4 or 5.
Just didn't have an angle on anybody there, but.
So Kenny Lake getting his first touch of the game. He was out for the upset loss to Hoffman Estates last week. He stays in there behind the junior quarterback, Tom Jostin. 3rd and 6, just shy of midfield for Fremd with 5 minutes left in the first. Jostin passes on an out pattern and just beyond the reach of his receiver. That's going to fall incomplete and bring up another punting situation for Fremd. So the wide receiver was able to get some separation, but the ball was delivered just a little wide. Missed opportunity to pick up a first down. And it looks like Fremd will bring out their punting unit as opposed to sticking with the quarterback to pooch punt it. Back deep for the Broncos.
There's the
rugby-style punt. This looks like it's going to bounce ahead of the return man.
Favorable Fremd bounce down to about the 14-yard line.
Zach Rizzio back for Barrington. And for the second time, Barrington's going to start on offense inside their own 20. So Johnny Davidson has a long field to work with for the second time. We'll see if they try to get their running game going with King. This time, a week ago, they had the
looks like they're going with 2 running backs right now, perhaps. King and Mays may be in there at the same time, I believe. 3 wide receivers. There are 2 running backs.
King and Mays scrunched up next to the quarterback, and it's King that gets the ball up the middle, and he's stacked up pretty nicely by the Fremd defense. Going to pick up about 2 or 3.
So they've added a little more of a run option to this offense with the extra running back. Takes a little pressure off of Davidson. He now can fake twice and take off on a keeper play.
Maves and King in the backfield again. There's a quick pass. This is going to be Babbage. Babbage on the quick hitter is able to elude the first tackler and pick up a first down and about a gain of 15.
On that play, both of those running backs immediately got into pass blocking mode, giving Johnny Davidson just a little extra protection.
Bronco offense gets up the line quickly. This is Davidson with the lone back King on his side. Davidson, another quick hitter. He's got a man wide open. That's Zada for the second time tonight. So Davidson, a very quick hitter on these last 2 plays, and have been able to pick up some nice gains. That's Jake Zida, Z-Y-Z-D-A. First down at the 38. From 38. Davidson, another quick, basically the same play. And this one's caught. Zida tips it to himself, catches it, eludes the tackler, and he's into the corner of the end zone.
Looks like
touchdown Barrington.
Touchdown. He does.
So that was an identical play that had success previously. Really wasn't executed as well this time. The receiver had to tip the ball up to himself, which almost freed up space for him. He was able to slip a tackle and went all the way to the corner of the end zone for the first score of the game.
Down on the pylon there, right at the corner. And Barrington is the one that goes up on the board first with 3:46.
That's a lesson. If it works, keep
on
going.
The clock
to
in the first quarter.
Lining up for the extra point to make this thing 7-0. So Johnny Davidson. Johnny Davidson and the Bronco offense on the board first. Ran the identical play on back-to-back plays and were successful both times with it. Picked up about 60 yards in total twice. Both times hitting the wide receiver, Jake Zajda, the 6 foot 195 senior wide receiver.
At least earlier in this season, he was the leading receiver for Barrington by somewhat of a small margin. They've got 2 other receivers that gather in quite a few passes.
A question mark in the Barrington team this year was having to replace some pretty outstanding receivers, but Babbage, Zaida, and Maves have done a nice job replacing some of those guys.
Yeah, you had Scotty Miller. They don't have anybody with that kind of speed, but overall they do have a good group this year. They seem to be getting better as the season progresses.
Barrington kicking off for the second time tonight. Fremd had a nice return earlier in the game.
There's
an onside kick. I don't know if this ball went far enough and it's going to trickle out of bounds. That's going to give Fremd very nice field position.
Tremendous field position for Barrington on this.
I don't know if the Barrington staff thought that they saw something there, but whether they did or not, the kick never traveled 10 yards to even give an opportunity to.
Kick was not well executed. It curled backwards and went out of bounds, and now Fremd has tremendous field position at the 44 of Barrington to start this drive with 3:46 remaining in the first quarter.
So Tom Jostin working out of the pistol. That's Charlie Kay behind him, and that's who gets the ball, and he's taken down immediately. And very nice sure tackle that appeared to be Zach Robbins.
The ball carrier was number 27, Charlie Kay. Game of 1. Second down.
Caves in on offense.
So I think that may have been Eric Shelley, number 37, the left defensive end. Got in the backfield and took down Charlie Kay immediately. 2nd and 9.
There's a shift just before the play. Here's a man in motion to the right. Justin looking deep. Scott Like.
Kenny Like, touchdown.
It looks like it's a touchdown to Like. He
no
gathered
signal
that in.
by the
no
ref
signal
here.
yet.
Depending on who you ask out on the field.
There's the touchdown.
By the official
signaled.
on the far side of the field. So I believe the near official wasn't able to see the ball, but the official on the opposite side of the field called it a touchdown. So that's a deep pass. They were able to get the Michigan State recruit Kenny Like in one-on-one coverage through the Justin threw a nice ball up for him, and the big wide out made a nice play.
Pass was just where it needed to be, and here's Fremd lining up to try to tie this game up.
6'3", 185. Kenny Like on the reception there. Extra points up and good. Just like that, we have a tie ball game here in Barrington.
Quite a well-executed pass play there. The pass was excellent, and Like was able to get some separation, not an awful lot. It was part of the reason that the call wasn't made right away was because the defender, I believe, got between the referee on the west side of the field and the ball and couldn't quite see whether Light had full possession of it, but he did, and the other referee had a clearer view of it. So that ties us up 7-all.
So maybe a fairly high-scoring game.
It's a cold night, relatively. It's the coolest night of the season. We're in the 8th game. However, looking at the flag in the south end zone, there's virtually no wind right now.
Probably a pretty nice night to throw the ball. And both touchdowns have come by way of the pass tonight.
And we've got 2 good throwers, and we've got a number of good receivers on both teams. And we have a history so far this season of a lot of scoring by these teams. So
this looks to be number 12, Robbie Holland, is going to take that for a touchback. So, or sorry, number 8, Alec Andrea. So Johnny Davidson's going to start at the 20-yard line for the Broncos, looking to answer the Fremd score. Both these teams are playoff bound. From technically at 5 wins aren't officially in, but they would overwhelmingly likely to be in the playoffs, even with a couple losses. This is King up the middle. He's stacked up. So this Fremd defensive line so far is doing a nice job against the Barrington running game, which that's the strength of this unit is that defensive line.
number 44 out there is Matt McCabe, who is one of the leaders of the defensive unit for Fremd, defensive line.
Is a handoff to King once again. He's a little more running room. He's going to get to about the 3-yard line.
That'll bring up 3rd and fairly long, 3rd and 7.
Gain of 3, 3rd, 7.
Here's Barrington with 2 running backs again in this formation.
Davidson looking to pass, and he's got Babbage. Babbage complete. That's going to be enough.
Spins around. It looks like he spun his way into a first down there. They're moving the chains.
It looks like Davidson's had the most success where he's been able to get rid of the ball almost immediately.
37, Paul Nielsen in on the stop along with
Davidson quickly up to the line with only King in the backfield with him, 2 wideouts to the right. And King's going to get the handoff. He picks up 2, maybe 3 yards. Oh, we got a fumble on the play. The Fremd Vikings think they have this ball, and they indeed do. Official signal for Fremd ball at the 40, at the 35, and now a flag comes in. So that was Nate King on the carry. He looked to be taken down, and then tried to break through and lost the ball, and Fremd got on it. And we'll see what the flag appeared to come in after the play, so I believe this will stay with the Vikings.
We'll see who gets the walk-off here. In either case, unless it's a severe one against Fremd, even if it is, it would be good field position for a second time.
Our first turnover of the game coming with about 1.5 minutes left in the first quarter. Personal foul on Fremd, but that's that ball foul, so they'll retain possession. That'll just move. They'll be 1st and 10, but instead of excellent field position, they'll be more like at midfield. So
that gives Barrington a little breathing room there to a little more space to defend on this this series, starting at the 50 rather than all the way down on their 35.
Tom Johnston will take over here from midfield, fresh off of the deep pass that he was able to hit for a touchdown on the last play. 3 wide receivers to the far side of the field. This is Charlie Kay on the carry. Johnston seemed to have a struggle with the snap before getting the handoff off, and Kay picks up about 2.5 yards before he's taken down by the Barrington defensive line. So neither team having much success running the football early here. Both defensive lines are holding pretty strong.
2nd and 8.
4-man front for Barrington on defense.
This is Johnson's looking to pass. He's throwing deep again, and the play, it's caught but appears to be out of bounds, and that is what's called, the intended receiver there was Zachary Goodman.
Third down.
Number 13. Rizzio for Barrington on the coverage. So this will bring up 3rd and 8, an obvious passing situation for Fremd. Kenny Like right? Yeah, Kenny Like is not on the field. Kenny Like hauled in a long touchdown pass, not on the field. Short side of the field looks like you have Austin Schwartz.
Yeah.
Justin, he's running for his life to the far side of the field. He's going to pick up a few yards, but is Justin appeared to be running out of bounds. He's taken down right near the white stripe, and a flag was thrown, which will probably result in the late hit and a first down for Fremd. So the Fremd quarterback was on his way out of bounds. Would have brought up an obvious punting situation. Barrington tackler takes him down. And that's going to move the chains, retain possession for Fremd. So a little bit of a questionable call, but also an unnecessary takedown for Barrington. That's going to give Fremd first down to the 32.
The personal foul call against Barrington makes it first down for Fremd at the 32.
Charlie Kay in the backfield behind Johnston. And that's who gets the ball. He's a little bit of running room, picks up about 4. So that's an unfortunate penalty for Barrington. First quarter been fairly marred with penalties as the clock winds with under 20 seconds here in the first quarter. That may have been the last play. And that'll do us for first quarter of play. We're 7-7. Each team has had a long touchdown pass. And we have a tie ball game. Fremd threatening after the Bronco fumble. Good game so far. Neither team having much success running the ball. We'll see if these teams opt to open it up a little bit more in the second quarter here. The Barrington touchdown came on a kind of an acrobatic tip pass. That was a quick hitting play. The wide receiver tipped it up to himself, was able to break a tackle and then run for the touchdown. And the Fremd touchdown was a long pass, one-on-one coverage, caught right in the end zone.
We haven't seen the statistics yet, but the completion percentages appear to be very high so far in this game.
So both these teams went down to Glenbard West in the playoffs last year. Fremd in the first round, Barrington in the quarterfinal round. We'll see. Be interesting to see what kind of years they can have this year. Here's the big ball carrier, Alex Jacobs. He's had some success running the ball. He's listed at 215 pounds. He's going to bring up a 3rd and short. I'd imagine he'll stay in the game and for a short yardage situation. That appears to be the case.
Jacobs also on the wrestling team where he was a state finalist.
He gets the call again. He's straight ahead. He has room.
He's got room. He's still breaking tackles.
He's into the end zone.
He's into the end zone just like that.
Into the end zone.
Trying to pick up a first down. He shredded a couple of tacklers and went all the way.
So he took a small hole, broke a tackle, sidestepped another, and went into the end zone. An impressive run by the 215-pound Alex Jacobs, number 42, 5'11". So he's giving this Fremd running game a little bit of toughness. And that gives Fremd a 13-7 lead with the extra point coming up. So that wrinkle in the Fremd offense, bringing in the starting defensive lineman, Alex Jacobs. He picked up a first down earlier in the game, and there he's able to break a tackle and go for the big gainer and get Fremd on the board for the second time tonight. and also picks up the longest run by either team this game.
So it's 14-7, very early in the second quarter. Fremd capitalizes again for a second time on good field position.
So the Fremd running game had such a big game against Palatine a couple weeks ago. And in that game it was Charlie Kay. He's a little bit of a smaller back, and here this game they've gone with the bigger back Alex Jacobs, and then throughout the season they've also gone to Kenny Like. So they show some versatility in the running back spot. We'll keep an eye on who gets the call as the game goes on. But right now the hot hand is certainly Alex Jacobs. Kickoff once again goes into the end zone and will result in a touchback. Broncos starting at the 20-yard line. They've been maybe a key difference in this game so far is that Barrington's been working with poor field position all night to this point. Davidson's going to have a long field ahead of him yet again.
For the first down, it's going to be just a standard spread formation, 2 receivers wide either side and 1 running back with Davidson. Here's a quick out pass to
Davidson. A quick pass out to the wide part of the field. I believe that was
I think it's Jack Nicoletti, I think.
Yeah, 22 Jack Nicoletti on the reception. So interesting formation on Barrington. They had this double stacked receivers on each side, and they go to that formation once again.
Yeah, pass the 23.
And Davidson
here's the opposite
similar play to the opposite side. Originally stacked up, but wide receiver number 10, that's Logan Maves. Able to break a tackle and pick up the first down. That ball wasn't thrown as crisply as the first down play, but Maves able to break a tackle and move the chains.
So a couple of quick passes, a couple of first downs.
And Barrington up the line quickly. Here they're going to hand off up the middle. I believe that was, not sure who was on that. That's Paul Lee on the carry. So he picks up about 4.
We're seeing a little more variety at running back than usual. King has has been the workhorse most of the season.
King had a nice game last week, but unaware. Here's Davidson's going to be, he slips a potential sack and ultimately tries to make a play. He tried to hit Zaida again, and the Bronco crowd calling for a pass interference. It was really kind of a broken play, and Zaida on a secondary route was held up by a Fremd defender, but no call made. It at first appeared as if Davidson may have been just throwing the ball away. He was in the grasp of a defensive lineman in the backfield, was able to break free, and that play could have been a lot worse. Here comes a 3rd and 7 for Barrington. It's going to be Davidson looking deep.
Long pass.
This is Babbage, and it's caught.
Babbage, it's caught. He's down right around the 20, 19-yard line maybe, 20. They say his knee came down at the 21.
So Davidson recognized that he had his receiver, Josh Babbage, in one-on-one coverage at the top of the field and didn't hesitate to launch it up to him, and he was able to connect.
With emphasis on up, Babbage is 6'5". The defender's quite a bit shorter, and Babbage was able to win that jumping contest.
And Barrington up to the line quickly, and this is going to be Davidson on the keeper.
Davidson.
He makes a move and is able to
got a little bit of running room, not much. Still manages to get a nice gain out of it.
As we mentioned, Davidson struggled running the ball last week in Barrington's lone defeat of the season. He's had limited success tonight. I think that's about the 3rd time he's carried for.
Somewhere between his season average and what he did last week. He's not running wild, but he's getting a little
Davidson
yardage.
a quick pass once again, and he finds Maves. That's looks to be good enough for a first down.
Little slant in pass to Mays, and that.
So Davidson really does a nice job of just getting rid of the ball.
Puts the Broncos. He fires that with good velocity and gets rid of it very quickly. He's got a very quick release.
He's known for a guy to spend a lot of time watching film, and that allows him to make decisions very quickly. A little miscue out of the Barrington offense. Actually, the Barrington offense was responding to the Fremd defense jumping into the neutral zone. So that'll take a 1st and goal situation from the 7 all the way to about the 4-yard line.
Big Barrington line in there right now, and we only have 2 wide receivers.
Yeah, back with Davidson in the backfield is Paul Lee again.
Paul Lee is in there. Certainly a run-oriented formation here with.
And Davidson's going to keep it himself.
He's going for the left corner, and he's got it.
Puts his shoulder down and takes a defender into the end zone. That's going to make this thing 14-13. A nice drive by Johnny Davidson and the Barrington Broncos to give their kicker a chance to even the score here. So a little interesting, Nate King not in the backfield, and that looked to be a design run for Davidson, and he saw the corner open and put his head down and ran for it.
Had a couple extra linemen, and they had the 2 receivers to the right, so he had a little extra blocking, and 2 receivers to the right took took 2 defenders with them over in that way, and Davidson had a fairly good opportunity to the left, and he took advantage of it.
So Barrington ties it up 14-14. The key play being the 3rd down long pass to Josh Babbage along the sideline that picked up about 35 yards to the 20. Nice, well-thrown ball by Davidson, a nice play by his receiver on that one. So it looks we're about 8:43 left in the 2nd quarter. We're 14-all. Looking like a night where we're going to see quite a few points.
Both teams with high averages on the season. Barrington is basically a 40-point average, and Fremd is 35-point average for the season. And they're probably on track to numbers in that area tonight, from the looks of it.
Barrington, despite the loss last week, very much alive in the Mid-Suburban West race. They're part of a 3-way tie at 2-1 right now, and they're 1-1 against the other teams that they're tied with. Barrington went with an onside kick on the previous attempt, and here they do a kind of a pooch kick, fielded at about the 27, and that's where he's taken down. So Fremd will start at about the 27-yard line, continuing to have the edge on Barrington in the field position game. The junior quarterback, Tom Jostin, will go to work. We'll keep an eye on who's back there with him in the backfield. That's been a little bit of a story this game. Both teams have seen some personnel changes in the backfield.
It's been a much more transient situation in both backfields tonight than during the previous games this season.
Looks like Charlie Kay's back there now for Fremd. And he gets the carry. He's taken down almost immediately by the Barrington defensive line. Very little room to run there. Fremd has featured Alex Jacobs in the backfield as well tonight. We're yet to see Kenny Like in the backfield. He's had some success running the ball for them as well. Second and 10. Charlie Kay in the backfield with Johnson again. Johnson's rolling to the wide side of the field. Not much open, and he opts to throw it away. So the Barrington secondary was up to the task there. Really left Johnston with nothing to do other than throw the ball into the stands.
Chased out of bounds by Grant Elliott of Barrington, defensive lineman, 6'1", 220 pounds.
That'll bring up 3rd and 10. 3rd and 10. The chain crew late to switch over the down there. But obvious passing situation for Fremd. They go 3 wide receivers on the short side of the field. Justin in the pistol with Charlie K behind him. And the quarterback didn't like what he was seeing and called the timeout. With a second, less than 8 minutes left in the second quarter, Fremd opts to take a timeout on a 3rd and 10 play here. In a game like this where both offenses has found some success, this could prove to be a fairly important play. Wouldn't want to give the ball right back to Barrington, I don't think. So this Fremd team 1-2 in conference play. Their 2 losses coming to Conant earlier in the year, and then last week in overtime to Hoffman Estates. Hoffman Estates coached by the former Fremd coach Mike Donatucci. He's really improved the program there in Hoffman.
Yeah, that's his 3rd year over there. He left Fremd and had 1 year where he was a defensive coordinator, I believe, for Schaumburg, and the Hoffman Estates position came available, and he got that, and he's been there in 3 years. He's really turned that program around.
Yeah, they had some pretty lean years for a while, and they're much more competitive now. All right, here comes the 3rd down. 4 wide receivers, 2 on either side of the line. Jostens was going to drop back, but we have a dead ball penalty. Looks to be a false start on Fremd, so that's going to make this 3rd and long even longer. The 3 teams tied at 1-2 in the league. This Fremd team, Hoffman, and then Schaumburg. Schaumburg playing much better football than a year ago. It's really a very tough bottom.
It's a very tough conference, and the bottom of the conference is extremely tough. Unusually, whoever winds up in the bottom there is going to be better than the bottom team in a tremendous number of other conferences.
Right now, Schaumburg's 4-3 with Palatine and Fremd left. They'd have to pick up 1 more victory to give the West 5 playoff teams. All right, here comes 3rd and 15. This is Justin looking to pass. He's going to launch it up deep. 1-on-1 coverage with that ball well out of reach of his intended target there. That'll bring up a punting situation for Fremd. So after the Barrington touchdown, Fremd unable to move the ball, and that's a 3 and out.
So here's an opportunity for Barrington to get some fairly good field position to work with. They've got 2 men back,
Jake's
just right around their own 40-yard line. Here's the punt. And it's a very short punt that's veering off to the right. Takes a Fremd bounce, but it's still only going to be out to about the Fremd 40.
That ball lands just beyond the 1st and 10 marker, and that'll give Barrington their best field position of the night by far, starting at about the Fremd 39-yard line. Johnny Davidson's going to take the field with Nate King next to him in the backfield, and in a good situation on a short field. So Nate King didn't, on the last possession, Nate King was mostly on the bench, but he's back there again.
Here's Davidson
looking deep.
Throwing deep. Well, that pass is...
A little miscommunication. He was going for his tall wideout, Josh Babbage, but Babbage seemed to pull up a little short on that route and really didn't have an opportunity to make a play on the ball. Not sure what happened there, but bring up 2nd down.
He wasn't sprinting at the end of it, and something happened there where they didn't communicate.
Here Maves goes in motion. You have flag on the play, and this looks like a wide receiver pass to Davidson. This is Babbage to Davidson. He's going to pick up
flag down, and it only picks up a couple, and Davidson takes a pretty good hit there from the defensive back coming across. So
a legal shift out of Barrington. I didn't see
unsuccessful play on many counts there.
So Barrington, despite having some success, especially passing the ball, opted to go with kind of razzle dazzle there. And
sometimes those things work. That time it drew a penalty, and it didn't fool anybody.
Josh
Certainly not the
Babbage,
defense.
the wide receiver, came across and ultimately threw it to Davidson, but Fremd stayed home and was able to take down Davidson, and it was all for naught with the penalty anyways. All right, this brings up 2nd and 15 for Barrington.
Third and 7.
Looks like Nate King is back there with Davidson in the backfield. So
Only 2 receivers wide this time, to the right, both of them.
here's Davidson.
Davidson looking for them. He's got
his intended receiver.
Mays went up for it, and there's a flag.
But a Fremd defender had a hand on the wideout and threw the flag. That'll give Barrington a first down.
It's pass interference, first down, Barrington.
That's a key penalty. Key penalty up front. We've seen quite a few flags there this game so far.
Barrington in the last few games has had a few too many penalties, so that I'm sure was part of what they worked on at practice all week to diminish their penalties. They've been up around 100 yards a game for a couple of games.
Let's keep going. Seriously?
There's the official call, pass interference on Fremd, and that'll move the ball to the 29-yard line.
Big lineman for Barrington walking forward, Alex Serrano and Nick Bart, 71, and Nick Bart, 73.
We'll see if Barrington tries to get running behind that line. They haven't had a lot of success running the football so far tonight. Here's a real tight formation, 2 wide receivers at the top of the field and 2 tight ends. King next to Davidson in the backfield. And this is all Davidson, goes straight ahead. He's going to pick up only 2 or 3 there.
And he's
taken down by the front.
Picked up about 2.5 or so.
And that play, Barrington commonly goes with the read option, but that really, there wasn't an option look there. That was designed for Davidson. So here comes 2nd and 8 play. 1 wide receiver on each side of the field for Barrington. And then this is going to be a play action pass. Davidson throws to his wide receiver, gets another flag. That's Maves. Looked to be caught, and also looks to be a defensive pass interference on Fremd. The penalty's waived off due to the pass being tipped. But the result of the play may also move the sticks.
Barrington has shown a lot of sets.
So now it looks like they're waving that off. So that looked to be a completed pass and a defensive pass interference. As it turns out, it was the penalty was waived off and the completion was waived off. So that'll bring up 3rd and 8 for Barrington.
Play just goes over.
There's Davidson rolling to his right. He's got Zazaida short. Can he wiggle away? He breaks a tackle, and he's going to pick up a first down.
Picked up a first down with some fancy footwork there. Was able to spin around and dance his way through a couple of defenders and pick up the first down.
Zizda, he had the first touchdown of the game for Barrington, where he was able to haul in a tip pass, and he makes a nice play there, breaking a tackle and picking up a first down. This is Davidson on the read option, takes it wide, and he's going to pick up 9 and before delivering a pretty big hit.
Davidson has not broken one for big yardage, but he's had some nice gains tonight. I would say that thus far, a significant improvement surely over last week for him.
Yeah, Nate King's been on the field this entire drive, but he hasn't had his number called until now. He's up the middle. He's going to reach. He's very close to the first down. Appears to have it.
Number 6, Nate King. First down, Bronx.
So I'll bring up 1st and goal for Barrington. Clock winds under 6 minutes here in the second quarter.
1st and goal from the 4.
From defensive line, though, is not giving much running room up the middle, especially. Here's King up the middle again. He's going to make it to about the 1 yard line, and he's in for the touchdown.
In for the touchdown. He just pile drove that's his trademark run. Low to the ground and just grinding away, pumping up the middle. Takes it in for the touchdown. Barrington claims the lead again with 5:30 to go in the second quarter.
The 5'5", 200-pound back got back-to-back carries there, and the second one was good for a touchdown. And the extra point puts Barrington up 21-14 with 5.5 minutes left here at Barrington in a MSL West showdown. So Barrington able to get their running game going a little bit there with Davidson, and then at the end King.
And they're using formations with very frequently with only 2 wide receivers.
The ball off this game. They had an onside attempt that went out of bounds, and then in their last try they did the pooch kick, and that looks like what they do again here. That's going to be caught at about the 17-yard line and a returnable kick. But the Barrington coverage is up to task there, and Fremd will start off at about their own 25-yard line. So Barrington's defense got a 3-and-out the last time they were on the field. Fremd looking to answer the Barrington touchdown shortly here before half.
Barrington playing a 4-man defensive line, trying to develop some rush out of that. Now it almost looks like 5 men. There's a linebacker right up on the line of scrimmage.
This Barrington looks to be in the 5-2. They've been running this defense on and off for ages. Off tackle run, I believe that was Alex Jacobs. Picks up about 2.5.
First contact. Gain of 3. Second and 7 at the 27. Just over 5 minutes left in the half.
Yeah, Barrington right now in the 5-2 defense. One defensive end standing up. And this is Johnson on play action. He's going to go for this. Is Schneider deep. He had him, but the ball just overthrown.
Just a little overthrown.
So the play action pass. Schneider had double coverage, but was able to beat it and came open. But the ball a little overthrown, not able to connect on what would have been a big gain. Brings up 3rd and 7 for Fremd.
Big scare for Barrington on that one.
Jostin is joined by Charlie Kay in the backfield. 4 wide receiver sets here on 3rd and long. Jostin's quick pass, and really never was able to get on the same page with his wide receiver, and that's a little misthrown and going to bring up another.
Receiver was covered, and it was thrown well behind him. There wasn't an opportunity for that receiver to get that ball.
So that's another nice series out of the Barrington defense, getting the punt unit out after 3 plays once again.
Defensive backs playing at least the short passes fairly close.
I always like to pad the stats.
That's a fair catch called by Barrington. Alec Andrea at his own 40 with plenty of time for Johnny Davidson and the Bronco offense to get on the board again before half. So it's been a very competitive game here, but now a little bit of an opportunity for Barrington to get some breathing room here.
4:35 remaining in the half. Barrington with decent field position, opportunity to make it a 2-score game before the half if they can.
And Barrington gets the ball to
execute
start the
a
second
drive.
half.
So here,
this is the handoff. I believe that was number 8, Alex Andrea on the carry. 4 Paul Lee on the carry.
he's one of a group of
Nate King. Picked up about 5. Davidson's going to keep the ball
cuts it back. He's got a little room. He almost broke free there. He gained about 12 12, 13 yards on that, I believe.
So Barrington
Yes,
faked
it
the
is.
end around to Jack Nicoletti. Davidson kept, made a couple of moves and picks up the first down. A nice run by Davidson. Under 4 minutes here at the 43-yard line.
Davidson clearly running better tonight than he did a week ago. Absolutely much improvement.
This is Paul Lee up the middle, gain of about 3. Yeah, Barrington's a tough team to beat if Davidson's running the ball well.
Yeah, that gives such a dimension to their offense. It translates into first downs, gives continuity to the offense. That coupled with his passing, the power running of King, and some good catching on the part of the receiving core and the blocking of this offensive line.
Up the middle, this is Paul Lee again. He's going to pick up a first down. That's a nice hard
first
run.
down, and the big offensive line of Barrington making its presence felt on that one.
So Barrington has been 100% on the ground this drive here. Seems like they'd like to not give the ball back to Fremd this half. Here's another nice run up the middle. The taken down after about a 7-yard gain, assisted by the referee.
We're down to a little under 3 minutes in the half, but Barrington is moving along and getting deep into Fremd territory here at the 26-yard line. There is a player,
Paul Lee, on the carry, the 5'9", 190.
Down on the field right now, so the clock is stopped with 2:54 remaining in the half. Barrington.
Looks like that's the official down. He's on his feet and appears to be all right.
Looks like it's second down and about 4 yards to go.
Seeing some scores. Palatine's up 14-zip on Schaumburg, and Hoffman Estates early lead against Conus. A little bit of a surprise in the West. All right, we're back to action here. Davidson joined by Nate King in the backfield, 2nd and 4. Clock stop with 2:54 left.
There's
Davidson's fine.
Davidson had Seda. He's got it, and he is. He's in for a touchdown.
Reaches for the end zone and goes in for the touchdown.
Reaches in, and
I'm not sure if that's how that play was meant to be. Davidson pump fake, and that really it seemed as if he wanted to throw the screen right away, but he hesitated, and that's when Zeta came open, and then he did the rest of it. That's his 2nd touchdown of the night.
probably improvised a little bit there, but it between a receiver and a quarterback that know each other pretty well, they put it together, and Barrington jumps out to a 28-14 lead.
So Barrington was all on the ground that drive until finally the touchdown pass there. Davidson to Zizda for the 2nd time tonight.
So they didn't use much time to score. There's still 2:44 remaining, and Fremd will get the ball with an opportunity to try to tighten up this game again.
And officially goes for 26 yards. It'd be interesting to see what Johnny Davidson's passing numbers are. He's once again at a very high percentage, completion percentage.
Yeah, there's just been a handful of miscommunications and a couple drops maybe, but he's got to be up somewhere right around 80%, I would say. And it's showing on the scoreboard where the score is 28-14. Barrington with 28 points so far in the first half. You double that and you get to 56, which would be well above their average for the season.
Barrington once again going with this kind of a pooch kick, fielded at the 20 and taken out to about the 27. That is a key series here for Fremd. They've gone 3 and out the last 2 times they've had the ball. And they'd like to tighten this score up before halftime, and Barrington will receive the second half kickoff. So
2:39 remaining in the half, and we'll see just what Jostin and his receivers can do here with.
Looks like for the first time tonight, that's Kenny Like in the backfield with Jostin.
So he may well go out for a screen pass here.
That's a handoff to Like, and he's taken down in the backfield.
He's taken down in the backfield there.
Barrington defender broke through, and that's
37 got in there right away.
Yeah, looks
for
like
Barrington. That's
45 Henry Ryan and 37 Eric Shelley were quickly into the backfield to bring down Like.
Barrington defense, their defensive line playing perhaps a little better than they have most of the season.
Yeah, the Barrington defense not quite as stout as the unit from a year ago, but this so far a pretty nice half, especially against the run. Here's the
Jacobs.
This is Alex Jacobs again.
Sort of the one exception there is the big Alex Jacobs can just break tackles, and as he did there, and pile up yardage.
Yeah, so as we're complimenting the Barrington defensive line, Alex Jacobs rumbles for a nice gain, and he's back there again. I suspect he'd get the call here. Here he is again, and he's up the middle for about a 5-yard pickup.
Picking up some nice gains. Maybe they ought to save that for the second half. It's only a minute and a half here, and might be hard to get into the end zone running it up the middle. Doesn't stop the clock frequently enough.
This is Jacobs.
There it is this time.
Gets the ball, and he's taken down. There's also a flag. Play. Looked like
illegal motion. Illegal procedure on Fremd.
Alex Hansen got into the backfield quickly and took down Jacobs on that play. Looks like Barrington's going to accept that penalty and bring up 2nd and 10. 1:17 left. 2 timeouts for Fremd. Key drive to try to tighten this ball game up before they head to the locker room.
Well, we're down to just a whisker over 1 minute left, so they've got to move it fast.
Johnston looks to pass. He's got a guy there. He got the first down. Dropped immediately after making the catch.
So that'll stop the clock with 59 seconds remaining in the first half.
These silver numerals making it difficult to identify the Viking receiver there.
59 seconds left here in the first half.
I believe we had a timeout called by Fremd with 59 seconds. 59 seconds after the first down play to the Barrington 37. So Fremd threatening here right before the break. Here's a key sequence for the junior quarterback, Tom Johnson. Has had the big, long, deep ball to Kenny Like for the first score. And he'll be asked to throw the ball again, I imagine, here in the last minute of the first half. This Fremd team started off the season with a nice win over Lake Zurich. Been one of the better programs in the area over the years. And have played some pretty good football at times this year. They're off probably their most disappointing game against Hoffman Estates, losing in overtime. That they get that taste out of their mouth if they're able to have a comeback win against Barrington. Here's Johnson throwing deep again. This is Schwantz. Schwantz goes up for it, and he well defended on the play, not able to bring it down.
Receiver was with them all the way on that one. And it was really a matter, could Schwantz catch it and pull it away from the defender? And in this case, the defender was able to knock the ball away.
Schwantz really has the obvious size advantage on that play, but Barrington defender was able to make the first play on the ball, bring up second down.
Schwantz is up around 230 pounds, so he's a big target.
Johnson with 4 wideouts
Look at these guys wide open.
goes deep, but the Barrington defensive line able to get good pressure on him. Johnson does scramble for a pickup of about two yards, but I think he was looking to go deep, but just didn't have the time to pull that off.
I think he thought he had a little more of an opening on that run, but it closed very fast, and clock continues running, and we're down to 36 seconds, and it's 3rd down. Here's
Johnson.
It's picked off.
This is Rizzio on the interception for Barrington. He breaks it down. He's got a little bit of room. He's taken down.
He's all the way out to almost the 30. There's only 18 seconds left, but that snuffs out the Fremd possibility there at the end of the half, and Barrington, perhaps they'll try a couple of long ones here, but maybe they'll just take a knee and close out the half with a 2-touchdown lead.
A lot of credit has to go to the Barrington defensive line there. The last 2 plays, they were able to generate some nice pressure and really get the junior quarterback out of sync. And here's Davidson in the shotgun, so Davidson's going to run up the middle and see what he can do there. Picks up about 10 with 12 seconds left. We'll see if Barrington opts to call a timeout. It looks like they do. So Barrington could have taken the knee and gone into the half, or they could have thrown deep to try to pick up a quick score. They run the ball, pick up a little bit, and it looks like they call a timeout to set up a bigger play here. 12 seconds left. So 41-yard line, their own 41-yard line. Barrington try to make something right before the end of the half here. But the Barrington defense really played a nice second quarter there. Back-to-back 3-and-outs, and then closing the half with the interception.
12 seconds. It looks like they're going to try a long pass here with Davidson is in a backfield by himself, and there's 5 receivers spread wide, and
Davidson drops back. He completes the pass after taking a big hit. Babbage out of bounds right near the sticks at about midfield. Davidson slow to get up on his feet, maybe took a big hit there after delivering the completed pass.
So there's 8 seconds left, enough time for Davidson to drop back deep, maybe roll out and throw something deep here. Maybe we'll see something fancy like a hook and ladder play or something like that. We got 8 seconds to work with.
Quick hitter, going to pick up the first down.
That's a first down. 4 seconds remaining. We'll see another play here. Moving the chain.
Been able to run quite a few plays. They took over with, I think, 18 seconds left, and they've already ran
I think there's a
3 plays, and they'll have a 4th. Another timeout for Barrington.
Timeout for Barrington. They're going to try something deep here with 4 seconds.
Yeah, that gets them to the 43. This is probably within range for Davidson to reach the end zone, I'd imagine.
Probably try to throw it in the end zone. You have Babbage and a couple other athletes down there.
Davidson hasn't been recruited. His production has exceeded his recruiting interest, and we'll get to see if he can air it out here on this play.
So the line of scrimmage is the 43 of Fremd. Be launching a pass from about midfield or a little bit farther than that. See if he can get it into the end zone here.
Here's Davidson, chucks it up. He's going to make it to the end zone. He's got a guy here. Babbage goes up. He's in. He's in.
He's in for a touchdown. Wow. There it is.
Very reminiscent to the play that Barrington tried to beat Palatine with the end of the game last week.
Pass was
this time caught at the 1 by Babbage, and he falls back into the end zone. That gives Barrington a 3-touchdown lead right before
3-touchdown lead.
I think most of the crowd was skeptical of Barrington trying to do something with 18 seconds left. Well, it pays off big.
If you've got a passer like Davidson and some receivers like Babbage and others, you can do it. And
Yankees
Barrington is now in a commanding 35-14 lead over what is a fine Fremd team. This is a team that beat Palatine 49-19 2 weeks ago. So this is
this game,
a solid football team.
This game was 14-all early in the second quarter, and it's been all Barrington since then.
What has characterized this mid-suburban West is fine play, but it's game to game where execution of plays and game plan are starting to really carry the outcome. There's not an easy chart to follow where teams are at a certain strength level and that's it. It's game to game.
What a drive there by Barrington. It started off, Davidson was able to pick up the first down. They hit a couple of passes, used their timeouts wisely, and gave themselves a shot on the Hail Mary, and they executed it. The second week in a row they've been able to execute a Hail Mary. Last week, final play against Palatine, they were able to complete the Hail Mary to the 1 but not get into the end zone. And this time did not come up short.
Back here at Barrington High School, the Fremd Vikings out on the field preparing to kick off.
Well, Barrington will receive the kickoff and have an opportunity immediately to get the football and improve upon what is already a big lead, 35-14, enhanced right at the end of the half by that drive in a matter of seconds, which went down the field. The last play being about a 43-yard touchdown pass, Davidson to Babbage to make the score go to 35-14.
And the ball falls off the tee. It'll have to be reset.
It's a good night for passing. You look at the flag out there, it is limp. It is cold. It's the coldest night of the season. This is the 8th game, and we would expect colder weather. But it's been quite a drop-off the last couple of days.
Squib kick picked up at the 10. Oh, and just grabbed by the back of the jersey and slung down. That was number 8 on the return for Barrington.
That's Alex Andrea, only a sophomore, 5'10", 170, and he's been in on a lot of plays tonight. Barrington's high-powered offense back on the field and living up to its reputation after an off night last week where it only generated 24 points for the game. They rolled for 35 in the first half here.
Hand off up the middle, picks up a couple.
And Barrington has featured a number of formations that have been tilted toward the run with quite a few times they've had only 2 wide receivers. Let's see what they have in this case. In this case, it looks like they're going with 4 wide receivers, 3 to the left and 1 to the right. Davidson is back for the hike from center. He looks to the right. He's got Seda, and Seda's got to step on his man, and he's all the way out to almost the 45-yard line.
He's able to break a couple tackles on that run. Nice job by Seda.
Quick slant-in pass there, and Seda did some nice running with it, and Barrington has come out all the way to the 44-yard line with a first down.
There's a handoff up the middle, no room.
And that's Paul Lee who has been in. There's been a number of ball carriers for Barrington today, and Paul Lee has been one of them. He picked up a little bit, about a 1-yard gain on that play. Here we only have 2 wide receivers now, so this is sort of run-oriented, but from a run-oriented situation, it's a pass out to the right-hand side there to Mays, and a little overthrown and incomplete. So that brings up 3rd and about 9. Johnny Davidson looking over the field, drops back, and that time Seda could not hold on to that one. It was perhaps catchable, a little high. So that brings up 4th and 9, and Barrington will be punting it away.
That's what Fremd needed, a 3-and-out, a chance to get the ball back and try to close the lead that Barrington's got.
So Fremd waiting for the punt. The first half for Davidson, very impressive, 275 yards passing. Here's the punt. And it's angled to the right and out of bounds at about the 25-yard line, where Fremd will take it over 1st and 10, but at the 25-yard line, for them, that's mediocre field position. They've had some great field position in the early going tonight, but not this time.
So Fremd going to take over an offense, trailing 14-35. They've got to make up some scores here.
21-point deficit, so their junior quarterback will doubtlessly air it out quite a bit this second half.
Up the middle, not much there. Taken down after a gain of about 1.
Barrington defensive line, except for having some trouble with the power of Jacobs as a running back, has done a pretty good job tonight on defense, defending the run quite well. 4-man defensive line right now.
Takes the handoff, rolls to his right.
Johnston throws way downfield, but he overthrows his man down at about the 40-yard line of Barrington.
Well designed play, a roll out to the right, had his man open, just could not connect with him downfield.
So that brings up 3rd and 9.
Three receivers to the right, one to the left. Back, looking left, comes back right and overthrows. Tried to dump off pass to his outlet man, number 22. Not able to hang on to it.
That's number 22. That's Alec Honnickel, a running back, 5'9", 175.
There's the punt.
You have to punt it
Taken
away.
at the 41. Oh, and he's got the
This
corner.
is
He's got some
Saida.
running room. Out about the 30-yard line.
Side on a punt return there that time. Good hands, and then after gathering it in, took off on a nice run there, and Barrington has terrific field position. See where they mark it. Is it
At the 31-yard line.
all the way down at the 31-yard line? He's kind of tiptoed along the sideline there for a while and got an extra
But there's
10,
a flag on the
10
play.
yards or so, but their flag and a lot of this big run will probably be extinguished. It looks like that's what's going to happen here. So it's all the way back to the Barrington 40.
A very big penalty there. Fremd looks out.
That's these penalties happening on big plays turn out to be gargantuan in their impact.
Hands it off to number
Here's
10.
Mays, but he can't turn the corner, and he's swarmed on by 3 tacklers there for Fremd.
Flag comes
Another
in
flag
late.
down. Looks like there's a hold. Barrington is in reverse right now. And penalties have been one of the big problems for Barrington over the course of the season. They've had a number of games where the penalties have piled up and reduced their effectiveness, although they're still averaging, coming into this game, about 40 points a game, and they've got 35 on the board right now, with the likelihood of going over 40. Great. So they're doing very well in spite of the penalties, but it's still something they need to work on. There's a tip pass, and it's gathered in by Sizda.
Picked up about 8 yards.
So it's 2nd down and about 13. There's 2 wide receivers this time. It's complete on a swing pass there. It's just swing out to Logan Mays. Now that'll bring up about 3rd and 5.
So that's a lot more makeable.
Now we've got 2 receivers left and 1 right, or 1 left and 2 right, I should say. Flag goes down again.
Barrington jumped. It was number 11 leaving early.
Barrington has been able to offset these penalties.
Oh, encroachment on Fremd.
Well, this one is on Fremd. So that may give them a first down. It was 3rd and 5. Sometimes it's 3rd and actually 5.5. So let's see what it is here.
And it is a first.
Through 3rd and 5, and 5 yards walked off. So it's a first down for Barrington. 8:16 to go in the 3rd quarter, leading by 3 touchdowns. They've got the ball, and they're at the 50-yard line.
Takes a handoff, fumble.
Fumble. I think it's recovered by the man that fumbled. Popped out in front for a little while. I think he was able to gather it in, and it's pulled down at the 49-yard line of Barrington. I think that may have been Davidson on a keeper play.
Yes, it was. Davidson able to get that ball back. Very lucky. He was surrounded by Fremd defenders on that.
Here's one of these more run-oriented formations, or maybe it's pass block oriented, really. You know.
And off
this
up the
time
middle.
he runs. That's Nate King, busting it up the middle. That's what he does. That's his job on this team, is to bust it up the middle. He did it that time, and that brings up 3rd and 5 after he pounds in there for about 5 yards. Now we've got 3 wide receivers, and we've got a tight end on the field. And that's complete. It should be a first down and then some. Zeta taking off, and he's got running room, and he's going down the sideline, and he is in the corner of the end zone. And Barrington has cracked the 40 mark. No flags down. It's 41 points on the board for Barrington, and they're lining up for the extra point.
Very nice running by Zizda, able to break some tackles.
Significance of this is that they're going above their season average against a team that has played some pretty terrific football at times this year, Fremd. So the extra point is good. So it's 42-14 with 6:40 left in the 3rd quarter, and this Barrington offense is performing exceptionally well. That was a long pass play from just a little inside of midfield. We've got a little time here. The halftime statistics for Davidson tonight, 14 completions and 18 attempts, 275 yards, 3 touchdowns. He ran 9 times for 54 yards. Now last week he was minus 28 yards for the game, so he's running well. And the 2 receivers have been Babich with 5 catches, 113 yards, and Zeta with 5 catches for 132. Those are first half statistics, and Davidson and Zeta just added to their statistics here with a couple of big plays, and I think Davidson has over 50 yards passing in this half, so he's up 325, 330 for the game at least. There's the kickoff, and Fremd will have it, and it was a short kick, and Fremd takes it, and
at the 38-yard line.
They'll wind up with it at the 38. So they've got a lot of work to do. They've got fairly good field position, but right now they need. Fremd is a team in need of big plays right now. They're 42-14 down, so trailing by 28, and we're almost midway in the 3rd quarter. So it's an uphill battle, but Fremd scored 49 points 2 weeks ago against Palatine, so they've got the firepower. If they get things executed well, they can do quite a bit.
Quarterback keeper, not much there. So Fremd able to hang with them early, but Barrington just pulling away, and there's a flag. Looks like holding against Fremd.
Those are big penalties, and depending on where they occur on the field, they can be really big penalties. See where this one gets walked off from.
Calls an illegal shift against Fremd.
Okay, illegal shift.
Illegal shift, well, that's only 5 yards.
So first
Barrington
and 15.
takes it to 1st and 15. This is sort of an unusual formation. There's a shift going on right now, and there's a man in motion to the right.
Handoff up the middle. Picked up about 6. Barrington trying to strip the ball, not able to.
Barrington defense playing a little, probably playing up a notch tonight. They've had a little trouble with some of the power running of Jacobs, and there's been an occasional pass completion, but Fremd has scored from real good field position, but they haven't put on long drives tonight against this Barrington defense. Now it's 2nd and 9.
Handoff goes around the right side.
That's
Nice gain. Going to be a little bit short. About 2 yards short. 3rd and 2 coming up. So from not abandoning the running game, they're sticking with it there. Handoff again. Got the first down.
got the first down, so they're 28 points down, but still pounding out some balls. There's plenty of time here to do a lot of damage, and some of these runs that start out like 4-yard gains for a first down can result in much more if a tackle is broken or a tackle is missed. So that's a first down.
Quarterback keeper.
Justin on the keeper, but not picking up much. He didn't
Maybe a yard.
have as much running room as he thought when he read the defense there. Barrington has a pretty fast defense. I don't think they're quite as big as last year's team, but they move quickly.
Back looking left, puts it up. Complete. Taken down about the 41-yard line. It's a little bit short of the first.
Joseph Schneider, Alec Andrea, the stop for Barrington. 3rd and short now for Fremd from the 41.
So 3rd and 1 coming up here for the Vikings. And it looks like they've got it by about a yard. That'll move the chains.
This is settling things down a little bit for Fremd. They're moving the football. They're keeping the high-powered Barrington offense on the sidelines. If they can work their way in on this and get back to within 3, it's a different situation. So Fremd not pushing any panic buttons, but just methodically moving along here.
Handoff around the right side.
Run that almost breaks it off the right side. He's got a first down. And
Number
good
22 on the carry.
First down run there for Fremd.
22 is Alex Honekel,
First and 10.
and he's been out there quite a bit in the recent going. He's a junior, 5'9", 175.
Again up the middle.
Finding running room.
Picked up about 3, it looks like. Again, 22.
59. Alec Hansen on the stop there for Barrington. 3-yard run there for Fremd. Alec second and 7.
Takes the handoff, looking deep.
Oh,
Caught and out of bounds.
complete and out of bounds. He had it in possession when he was in bounds. It finally fell out, but that was when he got out of bounds. So Fremd has a first down inside the 5-yard line.
About the 2-yard line.
So nice completion by Justin there. I think that's Jacobs. moves the whole pile, and he's close to a touchdown. He's got the touchdown. He's got the touchdown.
So that makes it 42-20.
We now have a 3-touchdown margin as we near the end of the third quarter. And Fremd just going about its business and rather methodically, mostly on the ground. There was a big pass play to the 2 or 3 yard line there that set up this run for the touchdown.
And the kick is good.
Quite a well executed drive by Fremd there. A long drive. I think it started about the 26 or 27 or something. So with 1:50 left in the third quarter, it's 42-21. Barrington has double the points, but it's a 3-touchdown margin, and Fremd has shown that they can assert themselves and score fairly quickly on just a very methodical drive. So this game's not over yet, and even with this kind of a lead.
Still a lot of ground to make up for Fremd, trailing by 21 points.
Trailing by 21, only 1 minute 50 seconds left in the third quarter, and anything that happens here on the part of Fremd would have to involve slowing down Barrington, and that's something that they haven't been able to do this.
Could be an onside kick here. And
it is an onside kick.
But they blow it dead. Looks like Barrington called a timeout before that kick.
Timeout, Barrington.
The kick headed out of bounds anyway. It would have been pretty good field position, as it turns out. So time is out, and just to go over those halftime stats a little bit more while we've got it out, Davidson having a terrific game in that first. 14 of 18, 275 yards passing, 3 touchdowns passing. Had 9 runs for 54 yards and 1 touchdown. So tremendous amount of yardage and quite a tremendous improvement over last week when he had trouble running the football. It was minus 28 yards in that game. So Barrington rebounding, its offense rebounding terrifically. And they scored 24 points last week. It's not like they were shut out, but for Barrington, 24 is not doing very well for them. That's the low of the season for them by a wide margin.
So according to the scoreboard, Hoffman leading Conant by a point.
That would really throw things if that can prevail, and that's the Hoffman Estates intra-city battle going on, where Hoffman Estates is showing that they can play with anybody in the conference. They beat Fremd last week.
So a little pooch kick. Fair caught just outside the 30. Barrington will take it on the 31. So some of these MSL West teams that got off to slow starts are asserting themselves here toward the end of the season.
Hoffman Estates got a major college prospect back in their lineup for tonight's game after he had missed about four or five games this season. Cleveland is his name, 6'5", 255.
Hand off up the middle. Looks like he picked up about 5.
And that's number 4. That's Lee's, I believe. He's been running quite a bit tonight, or Paul Lee. He's a senior running back, 5'9", 190. Here's Zeta. He looks around. He almost was able to squeak through that group of tacklers, but he did get the first down. He's got a tremendous amount of yardage and a lot of catches tonight. He was 5 catches for 132 yards at the half, and he's had some big catches in the second half. Here's Babbage over the center with a sharply thrown pass by Johnny Davidson, who is putting on quite a show tonight with his passing. 14 of 18 in the first half, so he's really way up there in passing percentage. He's 75.4% coming into this game for the season. Here's a long one to Seda. He's got him. Touchdown, Barrington. Another very long pass play. There's been 2 long ones for touchdowns in this half already, and we're all the way up to 46 or 48 points, excuse me. 48 points, and lining up for the extra point. So the 49 would put them 1 from their peak of the season, which was the opening game. They scored 50. But we've got a whole quarter of football, 45 seconds remaining in the third quarter right now.
So just like that, Barrington able to answer. They jump out ahead 49-21.
So we're back to a 4-score differential here with 45 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Johnny Davidson, another long pass to Sita, and that one was for approximately 45 yards. And the other one a little earlier was for about that distance. So he's really piling up the yardage here in the second half as well, and he had 275 in the first half. This is a spectacular game so far through the air for Barrington and for Johnny Davidson and all 3 of his key receivers, Babbage, Saida, and Mays. All the while, of course, that big offensive line is doing its job tonight, providing some pass blocking, and Bart, Serrano, Stefan, and others getting it done up front. The running game has been adequate.
So taking about the 20.
This is number 2 running to the far side, and he's brought down out there finally at about the 32-yard line, and that's number 2 for Fremd. It's Nicholas Cheschin.
Bronco kick is fielded by Nicholas Cheschin.
Just Cheschin, not a giant on the field, 5'4", 135 pounds, but fielded that ball and returned it. Here's Justin looking downfield. He almost crossed.
Not able to hang on to it. Broken up there by the Barrington defender. Nice pass right on the receiver's
That
hand.
was Alexandria breaking up that pass. He's only a sophomore. He's been in a lot of action tonight. And he's 5'10", 170. Now Fremd with almost all their receivers to the right side. Now two reverse and go to the left, and now there's a man crossing to the left.
That's a run off the right side. Like about a 4-yard gain.
All sorts of indications that something was going to happen to the left there, and they cut it across to the right side and picked up a few yards. There's a man down on the field for Fremd.
Time on the field.
Looks like it might be one of their linemen.
So the front player able to walk off under his own power, and we're going to resume play here. Keeper. He's going nowhere.
So that'll bring up 4th down, 4th and 5, and Fremd will have to punt it away here. They're down by 28 points, and in this situation with we're right at the end of the third quarter. So we'll see what they do when play resumes. It most likely will be a punt, but when you're this far down, fakes are always a possibility. So at the end of 3 quarters, it's 49-21 in favor of Barrington. The Barrington passing game has been the dominant element here tonight, and Johnny Davidson threw 18 passes in the first half. That's on track to throw 36 passes. And some of the earlier games this year, Davidson was only throwing 15 times. So this is really shifting from the run to the pass as far as the Barrington offense. And last week he only threw 22 times. So my guess is that he threw at least 8 or 9 passes in the third quarter, so we're probably up to 27, 28, 29 passes right now, and we've got a quarter of football to play. Although with that kind of lead that they have, they may just stop passing somewhat. On the other hand, it's hard to stop what's working.
As Fremd just not able to contain that Barrington offense. Complete out on the right side, still on his feet, and then swarmed under by the Barrington defense. But good for a first down.
Davidson has done some running tonight. They did a fair amount. Did actually a lot of running in the first half, 9 for 54. Now Fremd has the ball here in the first down, and last time they had the ball, they moved nicely. Took them a while, but they moved nicely down the field and scored. And something,
there's a
flag there.
Comes
I don't know if there was face masking or unnecessary. There's a foul that can be
face mask.
Looks like face mask. So that'll be a big walk-off here.
And that was a 5-yarder. It must have been inadvertent.
Inadvertent face mask. First and 1 situation. Justin throws it out of bounds to avoid a sack there. No, 2nd and 1. There's clearly an opportunity to go ahead and try to throw deep on that 1st and 1. Have a lot of downs to go 1 yard.
Quarterback running for his life there, being chased by 2 Fremd defenders. Had to get rid of it to avoid the sack. Handoff up the middle. Looks like he's stopped close to the first down. We'll have to see where they mark it. Close.
Time on the field.
Time is out with 10:59 remaining.
We're going to have a measurement.
Time for a measurement here on the field.
4 touchdown differential here with 10:59. It's 49-21, and Barrington, even though their offense is so high-powered, 50 points is their tops for the year. So with 10:59 remaining, it's likely that they will achieve their high of the year tonight. Fremd is still a team that can get it together and play real well. They beat 2 weeks ago. They beat Palatine 49-19, and they've had a number of good games. Perhaps can get in. They'll get into the playoffs, it appears, and
So short by about a foot.
if they play up to their potential, they could win a couple of games and maybe more. But tonight, so far, the Barrington offense has had, and especially the passing offense of Barrington has been the story of the game. So here they are. It's now 3rd and 1. After starting this drive, 1st and 1. Or this series.
Quarterback sneak. Looks like he's got it and more.
Picked up the first down. So that'll give Fremd the first down at about the 39 or so of Barrington.
Barrington able to adjust nicely. Fremd had their number early on. Barrington able to change things up and get that offense in gear.
Now Fremd with a couple of backs. Justin looking way downfield. He's got Like down there, but it's fought for by the Barrington defender, was able to defend him. It's Kenny Like, the Michigan State recruit, going for it, right? Had to fight with the defender for the ball, and the defender won that one at the 2-yard line.
Good pass, just not able to hang on to it. Good defensive play there.
It
He's a sophomore. Really? Yep. Nice play.
Fakes the handoff, rolls to his right. Oh, intercepted.
Intercepted.
Number 42 for Barrington with the interception.
And it's Nate Holly, a linebacker for Barrington, coming up with the interception. He's a junior, a linebacker, good size, 6'1", 215 pounds, came up with a key interception, stopping that drive.
So Barrington back on offense, handoff
Nate
on
King.
the left side. Not much room.
Little unusual for him, running in that case he was running west rather than north, and he's usually running up the middle rather than sideways like that. And this time I believe he loses about a yard. Probably best off to go back to his old trademark up the middle. Now there's 2 running backs in there with Johnny Davidson. Here goes Nate King up the middle. He's got short yardage.
Pick up of about 2, bring up around 3rd and 9.
Clock keeps ticking away. You had a 4 touchdown differential, and we're down to just a little over 9 minutes to go in the ball game. Third down. Here's Davidson looking downfield. He airs it out. Close to Zeta, but dropped. Covered pretty well. May have been pushed away by the defender there. So that'll bring up 4th down, and Fremd will have another opportunity to try to tighten this game up.
So that Barrington offense not taking their foot off the gas. They're going for it here. Trying a pass on 3rd and long. And now the punt.
Now it looks like a punt set up, an unusual formation here.
Taking a Barrington roll.
They had 3 wide people down there, and they kicked it wide right. They kicked it to the right, and they had all those, looked like a group of wide receivers way out to the right, and they were there to down the ball. So Fremd will have a long way to go. 8 minutes, 50 seconds left in the game, trailing by 4 touchdowns. Barrington has a lot of men up near that line of scrimmage. They've got 1 linebacker and 4 linemen.
Hand off up the middle.
It's almost like a 5-man line.
It's like about a 5, maybe 6-yard pickup.
That was Charlie Kane on the carry for Fremd. Picked up a decent gain up the middle, 6 yards.
Hand off again.
There's Kane again.
Out to about the 35. They're going to give him the 36. So there's a first down.
Pounds out a first down, but the clock is ticking away, and we're down to just over 8 minutes now. So
the clock very much Barrington's friend here.
Two receivers wide left. That's all they have is 2. Justin looking at one of them, and incomplete. He was covered by number 8 there, I believe, for Barrington, and was able to, that's Alexandria again. That's the sophomore, 5'10", 170, who's been playing a lot tonight.
Ball maybe just a little bit out front, but it was close. The Barrington defense there to separate the receiver from the ball. Hand off up the middle, good hole.
Going to be picked up decent yardage, but it's still well short of the first down. The clock keeps ticking. We're down to 7.5 now. Barrington defense has allowed right around what it allows on average. It's been allowing 22.4. It's at 21 right now. So if this unit can keep Fremd off the scoreboard, here's a run to the left, and it's picking up another first down. So with 7 minutes to go in the game, they're moving the chains, and Fremd will have another first down just inside Barrington territory at the 48. Got a long way to go here in not too much time, and they really need to complete some spectacular passes and move the process along if they're going to have a chance here. Here's a chance. This is one that's spectacular. It's down there, and it's off the hands of the receiver. That was, we'll see if we can get his number. He was down there.
There's number 8 for Barrington defending that. Right there, stride for stride with the receiver.
That, I think, is number 20 for Fremd. Joseph Snyder, wide receiver, only 5'8", 170. Got down there, but couldn't hold on to that one.
Up the middle.
This looks like, from the way he's running, this looks like Jacobs.
Looks like he's got the first down.
Power.
Looked like one of the Fremd wide receivers jumped on that, but they didn't call it.
Charlie Kane running with some power there. They're pounding away here, but time is evaporating quickly. That gets stopped right away. It'll not move. It will not bring the clock to a halt, and we're going to be under 6 minutes here in a little bit.
Pick up about 2 yards on that carry.
Defensive line for Barrington working away. There's number 90, Noah Fruch is out there, 5'9", 230.
Big run up the middle.
Big run up the middle that time.
Charlie K, the ball carrier for Fremd. That's a first down for the Vikings at the 21.
So Fremd picking up another first down. Clock continues to run, 5:30 left.
Another run. There's Kane. You know, they're moving the ball on the ground here, moving it fairly quickly, but
just
perhaps
outside
not
the 10.
quick enough. It's
Front ball carrier was Charlie K.
They're eating up a lot of time on this drive. It's at least keeping Barrington from scoring while they've got the ball.
Keeper.
Here's Jostin, and it's broken up at the 2-yard line. I think it's number 32 down there that broke it up for Barrington. Jacob Barron, senior defensive back, in on the breakup there. So it's pretty standard formations here, and in fact, more of a running formation for Barrington. 2 wide receivers, but then here Kane is going to be in the end zone.
Touchdown Fremd.
So Fremd marches all the way down and scores again. We're at 27 points, so they're above the season average scoring against Barrington. Barrington has held opponents to 22.4 per game coming in here. Now we're at 27, and they're ready to add a point to that. But the Barrington offense is especially the passing, is the real story of the night with 49 points. So that makes it 49-28. It's back to a three touchdown differential. There's only 4:41 left in the game. Nice drive by Fremd, but in this situation, they're still 3 touchdowns behind.
Barrington 49, Fremd 28.
A lot of the Fremd faithful have left, not near as many as there were in the first half. A chilly night here in Barrington.
Probably going to be in the mid-30s by later tonight. Maybe in the low 40s or even lower right now.
We'll see if Fremd tries another onside kick here. Certainly looks like they might. And they do. Oh, and it's touched by Barrington, and Fremd recovers. Successful onside kick for
Fremd
the
gets
Vikings.
the ball back with 4:39. They can make this somewhat interesting. You know, that we saw Barrington score in the last 18 seconds or so of the first half, a drive for a touchdown. And so teams can score quickly at times, and if they score again, we'd be, you know, down to a 2-touchdown game. So, but I think they'll have to step up the passing game here more than they did in that last drive. We've only got 2 wide receivers right now. Justin looking for one of them, and it's bobbled. It was catchable, but off the fingertips of number 20. Had to go up fairly high for it. And
Looked like he was expecting the hit
that's
there.
Joseph Snyder. He's 5'8", 170. Got open, but just couldn't hold on to that pass, which was a little high. So it's 2nd down and 10. Again, showing only 2 wide receivers.
Hands it off to the motion man.
One of those wide receivers going in motion and getting the football, taking it to the left side of the field.
Not much of a gain on that.
And he stayed in bounds, so the clock is ticking away. We're down to just over 4 minutes in the ball game here. They're lining up, and we're going to be under 4 minutes by the time they get this play off. They're taking an awful long time to get this off. We're all the way down to almost 3:50. Oh, there's
Halfback pass.
halfback pass that will be intercepted.
Number
22
for
has
Barrington.
it for Barrington, and that is that's Zach Rizzio. And Zach Rizzio is a senior defensive back, 5'11", 180. He comes down with the halfback threw a terrible pass, and that's why quarterbacks should throw most of the passes. Once in a while, the halfback pass will work, but usually in a situation where nobody's expecting a pass. And we were, and certainly the defense was poised for pass defense there.
So from trying to razzle dazzle there, but they razzle and don't dazzle.
I think we're going to see a lot of Barrington reserves out there now with a 3-touchdown lead and less than 3.5 minutes now. Davidson has gone out. Dylan Alexander is in at quarterback. Griffin Gabbard is in at running back, I believe.
Nice hole up the middle. That's about the 43.
33 was the running back there. That's Josh Velour, senior, 5'11", 200 on that run. So we're seeing some of the reserves come on for Barrington here. And it also appears that Fremd has some reserves in on defense. So we're just winding things down here. It's 2:18:19.
Bronco ball carrier was Josh Velour.
It's 4th down.
Just inside 2 minutes.
So what's happening here? It's 4th down. They're looks like they're going to take a penalty here and then punt it. I'll let the clock run down a little more, and we're going to be down. Timeout. With timeout at 1:41. 1:41 remaining. It's It's a 3-touchdown margin, 49-28.
Scoreboard just flashed Palatine 14-7 over Schaumburg. Conant 23-17 over Hoffman in the fourth.
Palatine has won. In another conference, New Trier has won.
Okay, getting ready for the punt here. A lot of movement there. There's the punt. Hits and rolls out of bounds around the 20.
Bronco punt rolls out of bounds.
So Fremd will get the ball back with 1:33,
Little over a minute.
trailing by 21.
Well, Fremd has managed to put some points on the board tonight, 28 points. That's above the average allowed by Barrington. But Johnny Davidson and his receivers have really carried the night for Barrington.
Hand off up the middle for a short, maybe a yard.
A lot of reserves in, and
Charlie King.
Fremd will go to 5-3, and I believe they play Schaumburg next week. That can be a very challenging game. Schaumburg has a good ball club this year. Barrington will finish with Hoffman, but Hoffman beat this Fremd team a week ago and gave Conant a tough time tonight, so that Barrington will have a test in this final game before the playoffs. But Barrington will most likely go into the playoffs with the one loss and with the potential to go somewhere with their offense the way it is.
There's a first down, 35 seconds left to go.
Fremd could do better than expected if they can play as well as they did against Palatine in a few games. That was the peak of their season, 49-19 a couple weeks ago against Palatine. But as this game grinds down, it's now down to 22 seconds.
And that may be the last play. We'll see if they decide to run another one.
Looks like Fremd is starting to walk away, and Barrington is walking away from the football, and so it's going to be it. And that is it. So 49-28, and the Barrington passing game was the real big factor in this game tonight. Just a terrific passing game. That was just too much for the Fremd Vikings, who fell behind and just couldn't catch up. Final score 49-28. Fremd having some nice drives of its own, but just going up against this Barrington offense, especially their passing game tonight. It was just too much of a task, and we end this one with Barrington going to 7-1 and looking toward a playoff season after next week, where they have some real possibilities with this offense the way it's performing.
So Barrington able to run away 49-28. We'll be back for one final game of the week next week. Hope you've enjoyed this one. For John Anderson, I'm Bruce Anderson. Thanks for watching.